Sunshine Statement for this special budget meeting. Sunshine Statement. Adequate notice of the meeting has been provided by notice sent to the official newspaper of the township, posted on the bulletin board of the municipal building, and filed with the township clerk as required by law January 29, 2016. Roll call. Here.
Here.
Here. Here.
On his way, probably. Okay. Pledge of Allegiance. Please join me for the Pledge of Allegiance and a moment of silence to remember our men and women serving the armed forces, particularly those serving in public areas around the world.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. All right, we have two municipal budget discussions tonight, but I'm going to go out of order and do new business first. Get that done and then go over our new business. If everybody's okay with that? Okay. So talking about the communication coordinator position, so as part of our ongoing commitment to fiscal responsibility and to have that a leaner budget, we did make the difficult decision regarding some staffing and resources, and particularly on February 13th, the position of communication coordinator held by Chow was eliminated. This was based entirely on budgetary needs and determination that the role was not essential as a full-time position. It was not a reflection on his performance or his professional contributions to the township. I personally, I know many did value the work that Nick did and appreciate his dedication to the township. So in accordance with the terms of the contract and letting you all know that he's been compensated for 9 days, he's no longer in the building, he's no longer working for us, it's basically an administrative leave. And then when we look towards the future, we'll be identifying alternative methods for maintaining our communications to the public, something that's substantially lower cost and that would not be a full-time position. Any questions on that? Okay. Then I'm gonna, done with new business, we'll move back to municipal budget discussions. And first up, I just go in order by however it's printed.
You come right up.
That's the seat of power.
That's right.
I think you could do that roll call one more time. All right, Dave, right into the hot seat. Yeah. It's only been a couple weeks, right?
Yeah. Couple weeks, couple snowstorms, we're good to go.
Well, as you can see, the budget discussions, we do it as a bit of a round table, and we'd like it if you could give us an overview and kind of walk us through the different needs. And you've already outlined well in your documents, but please walk us through.
Yeah. I was looking, I don't get here. Part of the needs, all our staff I've been asking
So how many calls, like, for example, so 3 days a week right now? So I think sometimes I call on the days when the admin support's not there and it just goes to voicemail. So
trying to figure that out.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
So
But,
that might be something.
yeah. Well, I'm just trying, I guess, but the point I was trying to, the question I was trying to get to was about how many calls or voicemails you get when you don't have admin support. You know, that they're then spending half their day going through yesterday's stuff.
Yeah, it's quite.
Yeah. Right. And you wouldn't recommend doing hours instead of 4 days, 3 days, 5 hours, or 4 hours. It-
You should be good.
Right.
I like it.
Okay.
So.
Okay, so, but is there an hour thing that we can figure out? Awesome.
I don't.
Okay.
I'll count the hours
Yeah.
What kind of phone calls are she receiving? I mean, we're talking
Yeah,
complaints
I'm
and things like
actually
that.
talking more than all. Making sure that
This is a complex one.
they impact
Yeah, yeah, Kelly, I understand.
Part-time.
Yeah, we would have to fucking.
Okay. I understand the ask, but it's not as easy as I'd like it to be.
Kelly's with you then 2 days ago?
Correct.
Well, you're talking about the budget decision right now.
Yeah,
so you're not
it should be enough.
Yeah, I would try.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I did make a couple of I think we have.
Yep.
Going into building district orders, we have ongoing project.
city.
I got broken, I'm not going to work with them. I'm with you.
So there was leaking in multiple instances this not this past semester, but the one with all the ice. There was leaking in engineering, finance, municipal court. So basically along the back.
Yeah. I mean, no matter what you do, with that kind of ice sitting on the roof for a month. Yeah.
It has. We've had leaks.
Yeah.
We've
Yeah.
had leaking, particularly down in the engineering and planning and zoning for years. We refer to that office as having a water feature.
Nice.
A plus. You put a tarp over your desk when you leave.
Water feature.
Koi pond coming in.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, well, some of that might be,
Yeah. We still have leaks.
no.
No, I was fixing where there was leaking. Still.
It seems like where the leak was. So that was my answer. Moving forward, this is where so So, 9.5 years, because it's not 200,000, so that's all my stuff. So all those things,
Right.
I like it. I like that. Yeah. Wow.
And Dave, we have a roll-off truck right now.
Yes. Yeah.
Right. It's a lot of miles.
It's fine. It's fine. They did have a lot of those.
Probably
Yeah. So, yeah. So
350,000.
You know, I look at that as kind of odd. We're about to remind them to use it. Now we're not the gas. It wasn't on top of this.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was on top of this one. We're coming down. We can let it. Yeah. Kind of show my face. Because it's something that we used to be forward with. And yeah, one lead truck. Yeah, so for 200, yeah, we want to go to on the map. Just adding, we're adding some extra people. So this is a little bit more expensive. And that's an and for me, that's a
Right.
that would be, I would get the used two machines and then mom really want to spend. So really, yeah. So if we fund out line one, line B,
Yeah. And we have a couple, right?
Actually,
Yeah. Oh, that's like a baby.
yeah.
Compared to the roll-off, that's for sure.
Yeah.
school board mayor, pick it up to
And how many trucks do you got?
pickups.
Yeah.
So it most likely going to be number 5 would be
The generator?
Yeah, so the grant application was for the generator and the municipal well, we haven't done it yet. Yeah. So, between the time that we applied for grant and the grant was issued, I spent with that we had a budgeting issues that happened. And now we found out also that there was additional activity to be done between now, which is another $150,000 that we didn't anticipate, associated with the installation of the municipal building generator. So basically, the entire grant is being used for the municipal generator. Yes.
Like
That's
triple.
the bottom line. If you funded it.
Yes. I've spoken with the individual that is looking at this, for earning this grant, and said it doesn't matter how we use the funds as long as it's used for a generator. Because commission supports one versus
At least we get
the
to use
other.
all the grant.
Yes. Yes. For all these.
Yeah.
Should have asked that one.
Yep.
As far as the police building, obviously, some of the concerns were they're going to be everything comes down, the night, et cetera, but now we've got, if we get the generators here, that's officially being DOT up there. So that can become a command center.
Right.
So we do have a backup plan, but I mean, with that, in terms of the blocks of targets out there, if we have another solution, then that's not the security issue that's done. So we do eventually need to get the generator.
I think it's appropriately prioritized.
Alright, last section is the progress. We're on 75 miles of road. And time to they are listed as our almost not.
Like this, if we got.
We have some tractor trailers.
The guy's business is right there.
It's- Police will work on it. Tractor. But they were working pretty good.
I haven't seen a big area over
They
there.
get a lot of junk.
It's just one of them,
Yes.
There's also that business that has huge heavy equipment. It's Oak Grove and Raritan Township. It's a home that they built massive. Probably done by like. But I think. Alright, I'll make note of it.
Yeah, so, that's a little bit of repair. Yes.
And Dave, this is all road projects that are done by DPW. None of this is going to be dispersed. That's what I. Even the 5-inch base one. That,
Yeah, so in-house, we're doing the, work.
okay.
Well, we got the,
Okay.
so,
Right. But these go through the I-band. They don't.
They're not I-band?
Okay, so I-bank. So these are just capital. Gotcha. Thank you.
you go over that number, we have that,
Okay. Any questions?
Mine broke off my good deal, fire tractor, Okay.
Yeah, we're not. Like parts that we need to do.
So anything that was bid is DPW parking for.
That's the plan. I got a update from Bill Millett today regarding balance in our
Yep.
and we have a magnetic fee for that. If we were to do the work for 3 acres, we plan to do after they did an inventory of our properties. it would be about $8 million just to do this.
So maybe expand on, no, expand on that a little bit too, because I don't think the township community understands that. Oh, when we purchase property or an open space and then we improve it, we have to maintain those improvements to a certain standard. So Green Acres is coming in and saying, look, your basketball court is on open space and it's falling apart. You gotta replace it. So they're allowed to use open space funds, but then if the catch is that they're trying to maintain those things.
And it's not just,
Well, it's 425 on here.
and that's only for two. We've
Are we
already
doing
done
it cheaper?
No, let it be.
Is there another way to do it cheaper? Is there another way to put it on a surface?
It's a state, and that's why I choose Green Acres on this area.
I would make it. Yeah, no, that.
So, so would that be an opportunity? Is it an opportunity to move it somewhere else? We're talking about factories that are included in that. Because that's not what it's not what the picture of that. Move the factories up front. Move the basketball court out there. Just throwing that out there.
That's actually
Awesome.
something that Dave was talking about
all
the
right.
other day.
I came in.
All
right.
Pose that exact question. Yeah.
Okay.
We need to sit down with our PRI and look at all the options. For that $1 million.
That might be a good idea.
Yeah, because now we figure that the basketball law is
Yeah, what's on?
At least something that's good.
Yeah.
Because it's
So-
closer to the home coast then.
It's a little closer, it's still a mile, it's still a mile. We'd have to put about a mile of paper.
All right, so maybe,
So,
let's,
for context, we have like over $8.5 million. We're like $50 million. That's just keep that.
But again,
Take
open
them out
space,
there.
parks,
Open
But
space
that's why I was
close out.
asking,
Right.
I'm like, oh,
Right.
that's a different fund.
Yeah.
So,
I wouldn't include the open space stuff.
okay.
you cannot buy equipment.
No. Dale's gotta rework his
Yeah.
plan.
I was sick for outsourcing.
Yeah, I showed up on week.
They can, but they can use other food. There's no. That kind of stuff.
Well, they can accept it.
Just like everyone else. They can do it. Any other questions? All right, thank you very much. Thank you, Kayla. Thank you, Nick. All right, Mr. Tully, you are up, sir. Engineering, IT, and stormwater. Triple. Just make sure you speak loud enough for the public. Yeah, let's start with that. Right, so remember we talked about the compensation, and there were in the budget you see last week we had an additional $10,000 compensation that has been reduced. That's great. No, I mean it's great that it can be 5%. Right. And as I heard from the person just in that chair, sweeper basically funding the dust, so that's something that
Breaks down the.
yeah, so if we can bond for it and take 5% down, get it in the $40 ERU, I mean,
Is there a, what's the term on this? I was kind of thinking the same thing. Yeah, so we get driven for more?
yeah, of course they are. Yeah.
You get your next meeting tomorrow.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Well, and that's something that is a discussion that I'm in the works of having some of those. Yeah. But I'm also for that though too, if there's an opportunity for those small towns, that we provide the service to them for stormwater.
Reports of the fire.
Yeah,
To lower the rate for our residents.
exactly. Other people pay for our residents.
That would be another thing. We're out there every day.
Yeah.
Trying to do 2 times a year.
We got to get our shop in order.
Yeah. And manpower and stuff like that.
Okay.
More than just the.
Any other questions about stormwater utility? Basically, what you saw over there. Okay, that one's done.
The engineering budget next. Does that go?
Yep, that's good. I got it right here.
Okay. We were looking at, the 3 projects that are there. Walter Franklin Boulevard is the ongoing pedestrian, improvements for a sidewalk that the residents over at, Willows have requested. We do have a grant for it. We've already gotten an extension on the grant. We're trying to get a second extension on the grant because we have to gain some easements over there.
Yeah.
We originally had the sidewalk on the high school side of the road, but there's a utility pole there that needs to be moved to the tune of like $50,000 because it has transformers on it. And now the 2 lots there have huge,
Retaining
Yeah.
walls,
so we
right?
would have to, we figured it out, we would have to actually grade that almost back to the gentleman's front porch in order to make that work. So we moved it to the other side of the road. That was the delay in getting the project moving
And then they
forward.
cross at the Walmart light?
They crossed at the Walmart light, which has all of the pedestrian
Yep,
improvements,
it's
like push
already-
buttons and things. There's already a crosswalk there.
There's none at you said.
Not
Or
at-
whatever that Willows. is.
Willows.
right?
So, Willows 2 would need to
It's coming back over.
cross the street, then go down the Willows 1 side, on the Walmart side to the light, and then cross again. So it's still a safety concern crossing from Willows 2 to
So
Willows 1.
to mitigate that, the project includes the blinking
Okay.
crosswalk lights.
Nice.
Like on both ends at that particular location.
Yeah.
It's good.
But a lot of the Willows 2 kids, I watch them walk through people's yards.
Well, I think that's a steep embankment, right?
But yeah, it's very scary
I don't know if you can
sometimes.
cut it back, you'd have to put a retaining wall.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a basically a wall 8 feet high.
Yeah.
And that's crazy.
Taking the guard,
Yeah.
the whole yard.
Right, it would have to be concrete because there's no room to put the tie-backs for a block wall.
Yeah.
So it would have to be a poured concrete wall, in the county right away.
Cheap.
That's
true.
That'd be total, because, yeah, again, we're pretty confident we get the second extension due to the fact that we had an easement issue, but, we didn't request the second extension yet because I wanted to see what happened with the budget meeting first before we went through all the operation there. We actually did look at possibly putting a walkway from the Willows 2 through the JCP&L power line easement, which goes into the back of the high school,
Mhm.
but there was wetlands and all sorts of,
Yeah,
it was
it's not
just,
easy to-
I mean, it was the most direct route, and then it's a safety issue, because somebody's gonna try and walk there when it's dark at 4 o'clock in February, and I didn't wanna have to
And
limit.
you gotta put lights on.
Lighting.
Yeah.
Other
right.
options.
Right, that's great.
The Radel Ave, anybody who's been down Radel Ave likely knows that from the tennis courts on Sunridge to Wellington is what Robin described before as the bouncing derby. We've done a multitude of improvements there, down to the structural part of the road. At this point, it's pretty much beyond repair. There's some curb, probably 250 feet of curb that's actually eroding at the bottom and starting to tilt over. So that has to be replaced. The estimated project cost is 1.2 million, 1.2 million. But that includes improvements to the pedestrian access at Wellington and Rayville, because those pedestrian appurtenances, like the push buttons and things, aren't up to code. So when we do the road, we have to upgrade those as well. Now, the other option we did look at to try and save some capital funding is, I confirmed today that the grant, we can use all of the grant and do a project scope modification to do part of the project that would encompass just the $650,000 grant.
Interesting.
So essentially, we can do half of that project. I'm just throwing rough numbers out. Half of the project.
And use
with-
just grant money.
Yes.
And
I'm
what's
glad you looked
left
into
if
that.
we do half the project? What's undone?
That we would have to decide on I would have to evaluate which part of the road was half. My understanding is if we do the half from the tennis courts, Sunridge Drive, and then move towards McDonald's, we get more bang for the bucks because I don't have to do the signal improvements.
Okay.
So I could probably do 2/3 of the paving without the additional cost of modifying the signal.
Right.
And then if we wanted to do the rest of it, what I would say is I would propose that into, we were planning to do a 2027 iBank loan. I would add that portion to an iBank loan project to complete the whole thing.
Yeah, so I think to Robin's point before, with capital, anything that maybe, just planting the seed to think about, guys, if we can iBank some stuff later, get a nice bundle of iBank loan
Right.
for roads, and things like where we're just using the $650,000 grant money, so we can get some road done, but not have to do capital spend this year.
But we still have to put the 650 up front, and then we get paid back later for the grant? That's how it works, right?
You get to reimbursable.
It's a reimbursable grant.
So how does that affect the tax rate of the public if it's a reimbursable grant?
Well, I could put it in as
It's
a grant
defined
item on the,
From the
budget,
intersection down as well.
and set up a receivable that we're gonna be receiving, and we can start paying it as we go.
Right, so it doesn't have
Interest
it,
doesn't hit our OpEx.
so it won't have an effect on the tax rate. Okay, so then I think that works.
That's why.
And then since you mentioned iBank, it takes about 15 months to go through the iBank design, award, whatever else process. So what I propose is that so it doesn't hit capital all the time, and we focus capital on smaller projects like pedestrian, like Walter Ferran, is we do an iBank loan every other year. At this point, it happens to be like odd years, like we just finished the one up last year, we got all the financing and everything back.
Yep.
So that we hit the iBank every other year, so I can do double the roads if we get an iBank loan, because it's an iBank loan that doesn't hit capital. So say rather than doing 5 roads a year, or 3, we could do double that in an iBank loan. So you're doing the same amount of roads, there's just a gap. But I think with DPW doing the maintenance part of it, we're still getting stuff done. But the major construction projects, which is almost 20% of that 180 miles or whatever it is significant cost increase because it's reconstruction. There's drainage and whatever else that's associated.
And iBank is almost free money.
I think it's like 1.5% right there, something like that.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the cheapest money you can get.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, it actually allows too, like, we were pushing before to try and do like every year kind of with iBank, and it's just, the process is way too involved.
yeah,
So I think at a
Administrative
slower
burden.
pace,
Yeah.
we can get more done more efficiently and have it cost less.
yeah. So for example, for Walter Ferran, if you were to get the extension on the grant and then you just roll it into the iBank instead of doing it out
I
of
can try and
capital.
do that, yeah.
Right.
But if they give us a 6-month extension, we're gonna have to have the project awarded this October. So there's no way we're gonna get the iBank process done by then.
Okay.
They haven't even seen it. So if I was gonna split Rayville and take the 650 out of Rayville, what I would propose is we take whatever out of that 650 that we're saving and put it towards Walter Ferran, since that's a pedestrian issue.
So, sorry, you're gonna take 650, use 500 of it on Reeville and then take the rest and put it
No, what I'm
towards.
saying is use the 650 on Rayville, but since Rayville is 1.2 million, and we take the other, 500,000 out of that, out of the 500,000 we're saving on Rayville, do Walter Ferran. Rather than funding all of Rayville, we fund a grant for Rayville, and then Walter Ferran would
Wait,
the difference.
that's the assumption we're funding Reeville.
Exactly.
Okay, I just wanted to make it clear, we don't have that money yet,
No,
so,
I'm
okay.
just trying to lay out a game plan as to what, you're asking for.
Yeah.
Compromise and what the priorities are, that's what I would suggest.
Right, okay. So, but you're saying basically Walter Ferrand is the number one priority, so if we had any money, it should go to that.
I mean, it's a pedestrian safety issue at this point, I'd rather not lose that grant.
Yeah.
Even if we did lose the grant, it's not the same.
Problem's not going away.
The problem's not going away.
We've also received complaints about
Yeah,
this.
and monetarily, it's not the order of magnitude as Ray Hill.
Right.
Walter Ferrand.
Oh, the kid's gonna be graduated from high school by the time the sidewalk is mom calls.
But we're talking about 200K, is what we're talking about.
That was my, yeah, that was my turn.
Yes,
200K.
that's a reimbursable grant, too, you gotta fund the whole amount.
Yeah, I think what Dale was explaining though is he can set up
Yeah.
the books that it's not gonna cause.
We won't get
effects
it,
and
right.
breaks.
I
Yeah.
thought we're just gonna start paving a sidewalk the next day.
Developer, is he doing a lot with that,
So the developer was forced to monetarily contribute to a portion of the sidewalk. So this is like the difference of that.
Yeah, and then when the planning board now reviews any project,
Off track.
I require sidewalks. So that new apartment project going up now at Costco, sidewalks, contiguous sidewalks, like this sidewalk to nowhere has to stop.
The last.
Just dead ends.
Lifestyle 80s, that was the number one road on the hit list for the road evaluations. So I worked with Brian previously, and we came up with projects that we could reappropriate, which the committee reappropriated the funds at I believe, the January 20th meeting. Whatever, it's been the $700,000.
The funds have been, they were canceled.
Canceled.
Those projects were canceled.
Yeah.
February 10th.
February 10th.
Yes.
Okay.
Where is Lifestyle 80s?
It's down off the Clover Hill.
Is that development that's on the right-hand side? What?
If you're going down Clover Hill from your turn.
The first one?
Or school, all the way down here.
Oh,
First was over by the hospital. I thought back up that way.
all the way down the end.
The one I know is Lifestyle 80, that was what Brian called it, that's where this one is.
Yeah. I'll go Clover Hill.
Yes.
First big development.
Yes.
Okay.
So the estimate was around 700,000 for the road work.
Right.
In doing the survey, preparing the road plans, we found 6 sump pump / roof leader connections that discharge directly into the road that are creating an icing condition that has deteriorated the road in those particular locations. Our policy is to put those underground. The initial estimate based on, we didn't do the full design yet because of the current whiteout conditions that we experienced for the last month. That's the estimate for an additional cost to the 700,000 to do the drainage. However, I've talked to Dave and to Dale about this, and we can use the capital improvement fund for the extra 100. And in working with Dave, we think that by using DPW staff to repair and replace the inlet heads that would normally be bid as part of the project, we can take that cost out of the project, which should, to some degree, supplement most, if not all, of the $100,000. And then anything that it doesn't, we can take out of the capital improvement fund.
So, look, since this is drainage, would this be considered stormwater management?
Yes.
And does that get out of a set, when I think of stormwater management, I think of the capital that utility may,
Yeah, that's what he's mentioned.
That's what I'm saying.
that shouldn't affect the township.
Correct.
Correct.
So is that drain into Mason's? Or is that into?
Basically, it's at the end of one of the cul-de-sacs.
Okay.
So it's just kind of, there's one in
That
that,
way.
yeah, it's like this deep, so we have to like take it out and run it down the road.
And it goes into the stream?
Yeah, because it goes into one of them goes into a ditch and the other one goes to bed, like towards Clover Hill.
Nothing with the ambulance?
Yes.
It doesn't touch it?
Nope.
So it's listed on capital as 100,000, but what is that project really with everything?
So it'd be
you said?
800, it would be 800, 700 of reappropriated funds and 100 of new funds.
So the money's already there.
Okay. the
700's already
there.
there. Yeah, the 700's already
Okay,
there.
okay. But then that could be over in stormwater, whereas now it's sitting in the capital.
Correct.
Remuning, okay.
Any other questions?
Good old IT.
Zig or zag, figuring out.
Yeah. But good options here, so.
Yeah, the shell game.
Yeah, there you go.
See, it's a little bit.
the IT budget. Again, looking at this over the weekend during the snow day yesterday to Rob's point, about trying to save as much capital as possible. There's items asked on here that are not priority. If you want, I can tell you what those are right away and the cost savings associated with those. So if you want to go down the list to DPW, we have currently upgraded, as you know, all the cameras here at PD, security inside and out. There's nothing wrong with the cameras they have now. What we want to do is replace them if they're like 15 years old with current cameras on the Eagle Eye system, which is what we have here in FPD, which would allow PD to have access to every camera at a township facility for security, safety, whatever other issues. That's you know, it's not a high ask item, but it's also it's not like we don't have it now. The PD just doesn't have access to the cameras, which is what we were trying to propose for a safety issue.
That's the exterior, interior
Yes.
cameras that you're talking about?
Yeah. The next, if you go down to OEM, they have requested 6 additional computers for upstairs, 1 for each TV that's mounted. In my opinion, we can launch enough rockets from up there already. I don't think we need.
Yeah, I think they're well outfitted already.
Yeah, me too.
Just for the record, there's 2 computers that they have up there that were ordered outside of IT that have yet to be set up because it was not budgeted for to be set up because they did not go through IT. So I didn't budget for it. It's in this year's computer replacement setup cost.
Same branding, same stuff, like,
How did they approve that? They just did it on their
I
own,
think
their
they
own
have a grant they
budget?
just ordered.
They're coordinated.
The next would be the digitization of the clerk's office. Originally, they had proposed a Halon fire suppression system for the full vault, which isn't really a vault because the walls only go up to the drop ceiling, so there's no fire. It's not like it's all masonry. So if there was a fire, everything burns in that room. So we said, okay, there had originally been a grant available. We looked at the grant, we found out about the grant in October, it expired in July, the applications. So we pivoted and said, okay, why don't we just get it digitized? Then we could, have easier access for the staff. It was about $70,000. I have come to find out from Kayla that fireproof cabinets were budgeted for in last year's budget for that vault area. So the documents will be protected from the sprinkler heads that go off as well as a fire.
Are the cabinets here?
No, they have to order them. So that's your shit.
But it's already paid for.
We're talking about, but they're already accounted for.
Yeah.
So as well as I would like to have that digitized just for public, easier for,
Yeah.
access, that's not a priority item for right now. So if you take those items that I mentioned, it saves $118,000 off of the IT budget, which brings it down to $181,450.
Is there anything on here you can't live without?
Just the things I just told you.
Meaning everything else you must have. Every single one of them are.
When you update the computers every 10 years,
Yeah.
something like that.
Yeah.
I mean, what's that mean, every 5 years? you
Color.
replace them, or-
Yeah, so basically,
Yeah, I don't think that's
we've got to a habit
necessary.
of replacing the computers every 5 years. So what it allows is for equipment to stay current, we don't run into issues with downtime, and it's been working so far. That's one item where if you decided that you didn't want to do that every year and change the program, we would just have to, deal with any repercussions for equipment going down.
Okay.
What's a color plotter for Mac printing?
In discussions with Jeff Vaccarella, I guess other committees, advisory committees have also come to our office to try and get materials like maps around the buildings, like open space map, exhibits for things, things for community day. The color plotter that we currently have in engineering is a production plotter. It does line work only for plans, like engineering plans. That particular plotter you can plot on various materials, like photorealistic paper, things like that, so you can actually do a higher quality map if you wanted to hang open space or zoning or whatever.
So that sounds like a nice touch.
I'm going to ask my question a different way. If the township could fund $30,000, what would you buy? Because you're saying all of it is the same, and you need it all. Well, what if there's only $30,000? What would you get?
Well, I would have to say that It would be the file server, because we have to replace that for us.
Okay, so that's it.
The other one is the police server's in the same boat, which is 3,500. Their hardware is newer, so I can just swap the software. So you're talking 33.5 for those two items.
Okay, thank you very much.
Yeah, because they got $30,000.
For
Right.
years, it was used to be the digitization, I just said that word, spent a lot of money. Are we caught up with a lot of that from,
But from a construction standpoint, it's ongoing. So now that we've started that, every quarter, there's a cost for them to scan all the permits that have
anything new.
permits for that year.
The old stuff is all done,
It's all done.
but now you have to keep doing it.
It's ironic, I happened to be up there Saturday and looking around and I saw, stacks of stuff that are 15 years old that still have never been touched. So
An era.
That's planning and zoning.
Yeah, it's planning.
That's not construction, that's planning and zoning. Yeah.
We don't do.
We haven't done theirs
They
yet.
don't count them.
We
We have not even started planning and zoning. We have
So you see a lot.
Is that something that you can do?
Digitization wasn't
Planning and
everything, it was
zoning?
only.
Oh, yeah.
Million and a half.
Cheer that.
Hmm?
They're pretty cool, not,
It aligns with his red chip, so I should have realized
That's
that.
okay.
Vintage stuff.
Okay, and John, you already put a red note on that file server, so I should have realized that was the
It's
number.
okay. New Year's having
Okay, anything else, any other questions?
So basically, from your initial ask, it was 299, 450, yes?
Yes.
And then what you were taking out was 181, 450?
Down to 181.
So it gets you to 118, you took out 181.
We're
Or
going
181.
to down.
Or what, you took out 118?
Yeah.
Yes,
Just three things.
and 35K or so, or about 33.5 is absolutely necessary. Okay. I think that was all three, right? Thank you very much.
Thank you both, yeah.
You guys sound like you expect me to go on and on and on.
All right, now we do have a public comment, and then we do have an executive session.
Okay. Thank you, gentlemen.
So thank you, guys. All right, motion to open public comment.
Motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion to close public comment.
Motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Resolution 26-260 to close the meeting to the public.
Motion.
Second.
Hey, John, can you flip the sign? Can you hear me?
And you close the door.
You close the door at least.
I don't care.